What is going on, everybody? This is Coach Coleman, Jesse Coleman, and guess what? This is the kickoff to season two. That's right, season two of Breakthrough Blueprint, where we help you tap into your full potential. I hope you all had a great time catching up on first season, 14 episodes. We talked about breakthroughs from mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, entrepreneurs, the whole case. And this season, we're kicking it off with another special guest. We're going to go into a lot of things this season. Like we're talking about the year of breakthrough. We talked about the season of breakthrough, being able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. It doesn't matter what happens in the world, we're going to still be able to rock and roll and do what we need to do. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on one of my homies, somebody that I've been following for a while. They may not know this, but I've been seeing their growth. I've been seeing their accomplishments, all the things that they've been doing. And I feel like, this is somebody that you all need to listen to, right? We are all about having people on here that's had their personal breakthroughs and they're able to still achieve things and operate on a higher level. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage Miss Blanca Gonzalez.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, first of all, for the opportunity and for bringing me on. I'm super excited, again, for the opportunity and to be able to share something that may make a difference out there, someone else that could connect with me.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen you, you work over the years, like with your team, and you all do some amazing things, like not just business wise, but the way you all give back to the community, the way you all build that family. How is that, how has that been for you of being able to have not only that real estate family, but being able to help other people in the community and things like that?
It has been an amazing experience because it kind of ties with like where I come from, right? I didn't grow up with a lot of things, and now being involved in the team that I'm in and being involved in the community and being able to help and hand a friend, I mean a hand to someone out there, whether it's food or like the backpacks that we give away or the single mothers. I mean, it's very fulfilling to be able to be a part of that, because I connect with a lot of like a lot of that.
Yeah, that is so dope, and I don't think a lot of people realize that when you give back to others, you're not only setting an example, but you're also blessing yourself in return. Because the more people we bless, the more people we give back to, we receive those things as well. And I just love seeing people that's on, trajectory that you all are on. Because that's another thing I love about you all. Like y'all do a lot of great things, and you're not satisfied. Like, okay, what's the next level? And also being able to give back to people as well too. So that's something that's very huge that I really love. And like I said, I pay attention to a lot of it. And I'm like, these are the people that I strive to be around because that positive energy just rubs off on everybody else as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go into it. You know, about your upbringing, how, what was that like? And, just going into that because how I like to do it is, talk about what you guys are doing and then where you started at, and then we'll, tie it all together with a nice little bow on it.
Yes. Oh, there's a lot. What do you want to know?
Well, I want to know what makes you you because again, you are somebody that you're a dope person. Like your personality, just your vibe, your energy, and I just want to know how did that begin? Like
Oh,
growing up, what was that like? And then we can go from there.
okay, okay. So I'm originally from El Salvador. I got here when I was 15 years old to the US with my family. When I was in El Salvador, so I grew up with a single mom. My mom and my dad separated when I was like 9. So my whole life, when I was young, I lived with my grandma because my mom had to go away and, to work to bring us, to feed us at the end of the day, right? To take care of us. And so, I'm grateful that I was able to, I guess, understand in the moment. I didn't understand completely, but now looking back, like I know that she never left us. She was just working for us, and to be able to give us everything. And so I grew up with my grandma. Me and my brother grew up with my grandma. From there, I mean, we came here, and the process to get here was also like very tough, which it's a long story.
Yeah.
So I got here, and then we don't come from a rich family. We come from, I barely had any shoes, I barely had any clothes. We had to think of what were we gonna eat. A tortilla was like awesome. Like meat on Sunday was like, oh my gosh, we're eating meat.
Mm,
And all of that. So I think that everything that I went through, I don't know if you've heard of that, saying of like, it's whatever's happening is not happening to you, is happening for you. And I feel
yeah.
like everything that I've gone through in my life has shaped me into the person that I am today. And I don't think I would change it, because then I don't know who I would be, right? It has taught me to be grateful and to see the world in a different way and different eyes, and be able to have more grace and compassion for other people when it comes to like like helping, right?
Yeah.
So we got here to the US. Again, my mom was a single mom, and she was always working. I had to struggle through, like, like I had to learn English. I got here when I was 15, so I didn't know any English at all. So I had to go through school and learn all of that. And so it's just been like one thing after another. And I mean, I think that's what has, brought me to where I am today. And it's like, we said early, like, excuse me, I'm never satisfied. Like I
Yeah.
reach something, and then I'm like, okay, what's next? And it's like I'm always trying to do better. And actually, this last time, when I was in Chicago last week, and we were on I think it was building wealth, our building the future class,
Y-
you know,
Yeah.
um, I forgot his name right now. But anyways, he said, my goal is to go as far as I can from where I come from. And that really, really like hit me, because I feel like that's what I've been doing my whole life. I don't have like, of course I have goals, right? And I have, where I want to go, but it's like, I want to go as far as I can from where I come from. And then along the way, I want to help others come along with me, and make a difference, and know that that person's not alone, because I also went through it. So if I went through it, and I I'm okay, I'm good, I'm doing better, then you can do it too. So
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things you said that I love, because a lot of people don't think that way, is that how, the situation that happened, the things you went through, it was something like, okay, this is what made me who I am today. And a lot of people struggle with that, because a lot of people go through things, upbringings, and they let it affect them in a negative way, to where they use that as a crutch or something, as opposed to, hey, I can't accomplish this, I can't do that because of my upbringing or the situation. What was it for you that made you look at it a different way? It's like, okay, yes, I went through that, and I am not going to let that deter me, or use that as something to where I make an excuse of why I can't accomplish the things I want to accomplish.
So before I respond to your question, something came to my head, and it was like, your past doesn't define your future. What you went through is not going to determine where you're going. And so I think that a lot of what has helped me be able to move forward, and it's like, I want more, and I want to get out of these. It has been joining this team, joining the Maloof International Group, and having the people around me, and getting into this world of like mindset, and listening to motivational stuff. Like I listen into motivational stuff, or positive stuff, like every day. And I also read, and I think all of that is, we have to, just because you went through something, you have to get out of that victim's mindset, and move forward. So I definitely think that just focusing on me, and and then my why, right? um I don't want my future family to go through what I went through. And for that to happen, I need to make a change. So then that's where my decision comes of like, okay, well, I want to do better for me because of this. Because I don't want, like I'm the one that's going to break this and it ends here, my family is going to be way better than where I was, and so I'm grateful for joining, real estate, because coming in here, I'm a completely different person from when I started 6 years ago. He has opened up so many opportunities for me and so many things that I have grown a lot, like personally, and it's
Yeah.
all by being surrounded by like-minded individuals, listening to as much as I can, feeding myself everything positive that I can, and at the end of the day being grateful too. You
Yeah.
wake up in gratitude. I'm grateful that I woke up today, because there's a lot of people that didn't wake up. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head, because one time, or in the past, I didn't have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
Being able to be grateful for the food, because in the past I didn't have what to eat. So yeah.
And that that way of looking at things is what we're taught in our world of, hey, you every day you wake up, that's something to be grateful for. You have food to eat, you have clothes on your back.
Mhm.
Those are things that you should be grateful for. And it doesn't matter the situations or things that's going on. You just have to remember, hey, I am grateful for this. And that's a big part that a lot of people fail to realize, is that, hey, you have a lot to be grateful for, because you have an opportunity to change your situation. You have an opportunity to create the life you want. And like you said, being able to set up your future family for success by, having the opportunities that you have now to be able to do those things.
Yes, and you are living in an answered prayer. If you really slow down and think, it's like, okay, where were you a year ago? What did you want a year ago? And we have to stop, and also at the same time stop being focused on, like, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next. You got to stop and reflect of, like, oh wow, I've already accomplished all of that, like, and take it in, and be grateful for that moment, and for that, whatever specific thing that you have.
Yeah. It goes back to that book, The Gap in the Gain, right? Too often people think about how far that they have to go, or they're short on a goal, and they don't give themselves grace and mercy to look back and say, hey, I've came a long way from the beginning of my career, or hell, just my upbringing. Like, I've came a long way from now to then, that, hey, if I just stay focused on being grateful, living in gratitude, doing what I need to do, that I'll be able to hit that goal. But again, thinking about, man, I've came a long way, and that is something to be grateful for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. A big thing that, and you brought up that, you listen to podcasts and a lot of motivational things. And I was thinking, like, yeah, I know when you are, on posting a story or something, and you're in your car, there's always some positivity going on. There's always some motivational going on. What are some of your favorite podcasts, or what are some of your favorite motivational speakers right now that you're listening to?
So my favorite motivational, like, podcast that it's on Spotify, and it's Motivate, and they put different speakers like Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, um, Eric Thomas, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
Who else? There's so many. Um, I went blank. But anyways, there's a lot. There's a lot that I listen to. There's a lot that I know, and I mean, they help me. There's one specific one that helps me on a specific, on a day that I don't feel good and I need that extra push, and is the speech by General Admiral McRaven or something like that. It's a military one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact name, but that one gets me every time, because it's
Yeah.
like a, like a life lesson of, like, he's connecting what the soldiers went through, and, like, with life of, like, if if you want to go far in life, you have to be, stay your very best in your darkest moments, or, like,
Yeah.
you're not, you don't succeed alone. You always gonna need someone, right? um, Make your bed in the morning, because
Yeah.
if anything goes wrong on the day, when you come back, you at least know that you accomplished something in the day. So it talks about it a lot, and it always brings me back to like, no, 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 let's let's refocus.
Yeah. And I think it's just actually the same one I listened to. I think it was it is it Motivation Daily where they have the different thing. Yeah, I love that one
Yeah,
too. Where
that's my
I'm the
favorite.
same way. I'm the same way when I'm having those days and I'll throw on one of those. And again, for me, ET is a big one for me. Jocko and
Amazing.
David Goggins, those are
Yes.
big pushes for me. So I love listening to that. And how did you get to that point? Because I know for me personally, and the people that always listen or watch, they know that I wasn't always this person of,
Oh
okay, let
yeah.
me change my mindset. Let me put on some motivational things. It's like, I'm ready to crash out. Fuck it. I'm finna go wild out. What was there a specific thing? I know joining the team was a big
Mhm.
part. Was there anything else that made you make that shift of like, okay, I need to make sure I am now mentally okay, getting positive affirmations or things like that? Was there something that made that shift for you?
Um, Not specific event, you
Okay.
know. It's going to be like throughout the years. I learned the throughout, within the last 6 years, I learned the importance of mindset, and the, mindset is everything, right? It's not like, ignore the feelings, don't care about, you're tired. I mean, what is it? Your dreams don't care about if you're tired or your feelings, whatever. It's like all in here, right? So you can go a little more, you can push a little more, you can go one more, right? And
Yeah.
so throughout the years, I learned the importance, to the point that now I listen to something positive every day. Literally every day, as I am in the morning, as that's the first thing I do every morning when I wake up. I'm getting ready for work, and if I don't get a chance when I'm ready, when I'm getting ready for work, I listen to it in the car. That's the first thing that I listen to. And then once I'm like, okay, I'm ready. If I'm super into it, then I let it, go until I get to wherever I'm going to. But then, if I'm like, okay, I'm good, then I'll of course play music or whatever. But it's something that it was built throughout the years, and it was, the more I got exposed to it, the more I got like addicted to it, and addicted to listening to it. I've heard a lot of people like, why do you listen to that? What does it do to you? And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, okay, you don't need that. And I'm not saying like I need it, but I like it and it helps me. So let me do my thing. You know, when we go on team trips and stuff, whoever rooms with me, they know that in the morning I'm gonna be playing that. They all know that. So yes, it wasn't a specific event. It was just more like throughout the years, I learned like the importance of feeding myself positive, and then staying in that state of mind, I guess.
Yeah. And that is very big. So again, for you all that's watching and listening, I'm very big on give you guys practical things to take away from each episode. And what Blanca is talking about is first thing in the morning is so critical for us to have a great day, right?
Mhm.
And I said this before, I am guilty of as soon as I first thing I do is grab my phone and I'll scroll social media or something. And what we don't realize is when we're scrolling social media and there's bullshit going on, somebody
Mhm.
passed away, somebody lost their job, somebody got a divorce, people are posting fight videos, people that I'm not even friends with. I don't even know how their stuff is getting on my feed. It's a bunch of BS. And what people don't realize is that negative energy drains us and it goes with us for that whole day. And we realize why our day is shit and we're not in a good mood is because we let
Exactly.
that negativity come in.
Exactly.
So what she is saying for you all is, what is your routine when you wake up? What can you do to center yourself? What can you do to put yourself in a positive mindset? That way you can have a great day. Or when the day goes bad, you've already armored yourself with positivity that you're not gonna let it, deter you and throw you off because you're already strengthening your mindset to have a great day.
Mhm.
Yep.
You have to learn yourself, and it doesn't take a day. It takes time. You have to learn yourself on like what triggers you. How are you feeling? You have to do a check on yourself. Okay, how are you feeling? Like you said, if in the middle of the day I'm not feeling well, then I need to take time to myself, because if I'm not good, how am I going to pour out and help others if I'm not good. So it's just like, if I gotta take the rest of the day, then I'll take the rest of the day. If I have to go to the car and listen to something for myself, whether it's music or a motivational, and that's what I gotta do. However, these routine that I have in the morning, like listening to something, it always like just gets me ready for the day, because I'm like, I've already put all of this in my head, and then it's like I'm ready to whatever, bring it on.
That is big, right? That is big of giving yourself that time, because again, what can go wrong will go wrong. We will have those bad days. Yet you gave yourself a contingency plan on, hey, if that time come up where my day is not going the way I want it to go, I'm going to go sit in the car and I'm going to listen to something, or I'm going to give myself some time. A lot of people don't realize that they need that. Like, you can't always be on. If things are putting you in a certain mood or your energy is just off, what are you going to do to get yourself back into a point of being centered, being one? Like, okay, this happened. Give myself 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever that looks like. And now I am going to, do what I need to do for myself, and then be able to go back and help pour into other people.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. It's very important.
Yeah. And another thing that's important to you too is I love this, that you all have Bible study
Bible
together.
study. Yes.
I love that. And then you all share your goals with each other. How has that impacted you? Like, that is something that's amazing.
I'm telling you, I came into real estate, I came into this team, and it has changed my life. Like, I am not near where I thought I would be. It has made a huge positive impact. I've learned things that I didn't know. I've gotten closer. I'm gonna say I've been going to community Bible church with the team for the past like 5 years. But in the past 3 years is when I feel like I've gotten like closer and closer and closer to God. And I'm going to give that credit to my team, because it's because of them, because it's like, oh hey, let's go to church together. Oh hey, we have Bible study, like once a month we have Bible study, women's Bible study in the team. And then we also have the team Bible study. And then now we're starting a weekly Bible study with the girls, on like Thursdays. And so I wasn't always, like that. And all of this has been because of coming into the team and, experiencing all of the and being exposed to other things. Like, not that I wasn't, I did go to church before, but I wasn't consistent. And I grew up Catholic, but I go to a Christian church now. And so, I enjoy it. I love it. Mondays that we come in and we set our goals, with the team, and it's like a standard, and it's like I feel bad when I miss a Monday, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel lost. Like,
Yeah.
I need to put my goals down, because what am I gonna do this week, right? And
Yeah.
so it has, made a difference. And then from there, I go to coaching. So that already has been, like, okay, well, coaching, something positive. They're teaching you, whether it's, business or personal. Take a time for yourself, or know when know your boundaries, or all of that. So it's been a great experience being able to be a part of the team, and everything that we're involved in, and everything that all the resources that we have, for me and other agents. It's been an amazing experience.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing you say, for you all that's listening, is, what does your circle look like?
Hmm.
What The people that you're around, are you around people that promotes success, positivity, growth, or are you around people that are just so damn negative and
Negative. Mm-mm.
just draining? And
Mm-mm.
when when these people call your phone, you just be like, oh damn, not this person. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you have to do an audit of your circle. You have to do an audit of the people that you're around, because at the end of the day, if they are not promoting you to be the best version of yourself, it's only going to hinder you, and it's going to make you go down. It's the crab in the barrel mentality. Like, you're going to end up becoming miserable like them, because that's the only thing that you're around. That's the only thing that you have going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that you all are able to do that as a group.
Yes, yes, I do enjoy it too. I do love it too, and I've noticed the difference, of course, like I said, and tapping into what you were saying. Yes, it's important, who you hang out with, who you have around, who you let in your your energy. You got to protect your energy. At the same time though, lately, I've always been, yes, I get annoyed when people start like complaining. I'm like, why are you complaining? I'm like, can you look at the positive side, And so before I was like, just I would get annoyed and whatever, and like, but now I'm switching my mindset of like, okay, well, let me help this person. Let me see if I can help this person. And at the end of the day, if they don't want to be helped, then that's a decision, right?
Yeah.
Because everything in life is a decision, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, how can you help them? Change that, switch that, and it's like, I don't know, example, like, we have a client that, we're struggling with. It's being a lot because, sadly, unfortunately, not everyone is a good person. And
Yeah.
so, I hear someone talk about it and like, they're like just going through it. It's like, hey, calm down, relax, let's find a solution. What's going on, you know
Yeah.
let's unpack that, or let's be grateful that at least you have a buyer that you're working with, at least you have a
Yeah.
seller that you're working with, because there's other agents out there that don't have the business. So kind of like, I help in whatever I can, and bring in that, like, the positive side to things of like, hey, it could be worse. you know
Yeah.
you you have a car, you don't like it, but it could be worse. You could be here without a car, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
little things like that of like, okay, oh, my house, this, or you have a house. At least there's a lot of people out there that don't have a house. So just like
Yeah.
switching that, the switch, or the thought of that mindset on them, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right, you're right, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wanna unpack that a little bit because I like the way you say, hey, you know what? At first I used to get annoyed, but now I wanna, help people help people think different. And that is one of those things too where you're also leading by example. You're showing your gratitude, you're showing the work that you're doing to be able to stay in a positive mindset. And then one thing too to add on is that some people are probably not in the era or phase in their life where they're open to accepting that.
mm-hmm,
Yep. And bad just saying, okay, I try to help this person, and if right now they're not willing to accept what I am telling them, I am going to continue to show up in a way that is a positive way. So when that time comes that they're finally at a point in their life where it's like, oh damn, now it makes sense. You've already been leading by example and showing them the way to be like, okay, now I'm ready to, change, reframe, and not complain and not being a victim. It's like, okay, now I understand what she's talking about. I'm ready to, do my best and make sure I'm taking responsibility for situations and being grateful for situations.
yeah, because you never know what someone may be going through as well. Maybe the people they have around are also negative people, and they just feed into it, right? So then
Yeah.
be that person that makes the difference, and makes them see the problem that they have, different, or like now I'm very like, not shy of like, bringing up God, and I'm like, that God loves you, or and so that just like talking to them in a positive way, and letting them see the bright side, and talking to them about God. I feel like even though they might not take it in the moment, I know they're gonna remember that conversation, because
Oh,
everyone else is giving them something, different or negative. And so, some people are may not be believers, or may not be close to God, and you may be the closest that they ever get to a Bible, and so
yeah.
just being that person that just like, puts a little something, positive in their head.
One thing for sure that they are paying attention. They are listening. They are, again, they might not be in a phase where they are in a position where they want to accept it right then and there, but they're listening. And at some point, they're
Hmm.
going to come back to you and say, hey, what you said such and such day That was so real. I and it's been sticking with me since you said it. And now they're ready to finally accept
To
it and
accept
then
it.
move on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, like don't be, don't be scared of, being that person that just, speaks life into someone else, or, you know, changes their way of thinking or mindset, and yeah.
Yeah, because again, it's so much bullshit going on in the world that they need somebody to change their mindset. They
Mm-hmm.
need somebody to give them a different outlook on things because everybody is so comfortable and easy to be negative and do things like that, that not everybody wants to come from a positive standpoint because they're not ready for that conversation. So they don't want to try to give somebody else a positivity when they're not at the point where they want to accept positive things as well. So again, it goes back to that: who are the people you have around you to make sure you are being positive and you are being grateful, so that way you can continue to share that with others. So when they're ready, you've already laid that foundation for them to be able to just come into the fold as well.
Exactly. And for me, it's like a lot of it has to do with, like, like my past, where I come from and all of that, right?
Yeah.
If you've had your life easy this whole time, and you're just complaining about this, complaining about that, put yourself in the position of, like, go, I don't know, go out there and feed the less fortunate. Go out there
Yeah.
and put in some community work, and do something different, and watch how that's going to change your way of thinking. And that food that you may have been complaining about, you're gonna be like, oh wow, well, let me not complain about this, because there's people out there that don't have nothing to eat, or this house, there's people that don't have a place to live. So
Yeah.
I encourage you, to go out there and make a difference, and help your community, and be involved, because it does something to you. It changes you.
Yeah. Yeah, and for you, I know family is a big thing for you. So how does it feel to be in a position where you are and I may be wrong, but I think where you're kind of changing that dynamics of what that was, as far as like coming to the U.S., you are creating amazing career. You are building things for the future generations. How does that feel for you that you're able to do that?
It feels good. It feels awesome, and I'm still not where I want to be. I mean, there's so much
Yep.
that I want to do, and give back to my mom, and help my brother, and do so much. We're like very close. Like we help each other. Someone's struggling, we're always there for each other. It's like we're like a little circle. Um, Coming into the business. So my mom and my stepdad had already bought a house when I came. When I came in the business, they had already bought a house.
Mhm.
But then coming into the business myself, I opened up, like, my brother started doing flips. My brother bought a house at a young age. Then, they ended up selling it, and he ended up buying another one. And so, he's like very, in the business. And then my mom cleans houses. And so, like, it's my whole business is tied with the family. And my mom cleans, the houses that I got coming soon, or the team has coming soon. And Scott has got, coming soon and whatnot, or selling. And my brother and my stepdad, they do construction and everything. So it just like all comes together. It all ties in. So I feel like by being in the business, I have opened up opportunities, for them, and maybe done a little bit, of like opening up their eyes of like, oh yeah, we can do this or we can do that. I got my parents to buy another property last year, and so now they're like, okay, what's next, so just putting that in their head, which I'm not gonna say they weren't thinking about it before, but I don't know that because I didn't talk to them about that, but I just know that
Right.
I'm that push of like, hey, well, you need to buy something else. What are you doing? So yeah, it feels great. And like I said, I know we're not done.
Yeah.
I'm not where I want to be yet. However, it's possible, wherever I want to go. be that person and help out as much as I can with family.
That is dope. Like for real, that is dope to be able to do the things you love with the people you love, and to be able to tie all of that in together. Of okay, I got somebody that has a cleaning company that can take care of the cleaning aspects of it. I have somebody that does, this construction side of it. And then also when we come together collectively, we can do things together. Like that is dope. And I think that
Mhm.
is what family is all about.
Mhm.
It's all about being able to do things together, grow together. And for you all that's listening, like, man, it's nothing better than family. Now, some people, I know some of y'all hate y'all family. I know I've had conversations with y'all, but it's okay. But for you all that do, like, this is something that created generational wealth, creating that community for and within your own family to be able to do some amazing things. That's dope.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's been great. It's been great, and what you said, like some of you don't love your family. It's not easy, It's just part of it. You
Yeah.
gotta learn to navigate and figure out, okay, what's important. Is this worth the fight, or am I just gonna drop it, or it's just normal fights
Yeah.
between the family and all of that, like disagreements are no are normal. So what's the let's agree to disagree, so it's like we're fine. At the end of the day, we're family, so let's drop it because I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So
Like y'all stuck with me, right?
yes, y'all stuck with me.
If if you go back and the young Blanca, the kid, and you can see yourself now, how would that? First of all,
I'm gonna
did you
cry.
even like? First of all, could you even picture that you will be in a position like this to do things with your family to help change people's lives? Like, how does that make you feel? Because I know for me as a young kid, I don't think about that I'll be doing the things that I'm doing. And
Mhm.
when I get a chance to think about it, I'm like, holy shit, like this
It's
is crazy. How
yeah,
how was that for you?
if it's emotional. Just if young me, was to look at me now and think of like, oh, would you have ever made it there? And you know, it's just crazy. It's just mind blowing because I'm not saying that I didn't think I was capable of. However, with all the things, like where my life was, like what I said earlier, your past doesn't determine your future, doesn't define your future. And it's, like that, like where I come from, it's like, and then, seeing myself where I am today, it brings me, it makes me very emotional because I'm like,
Yeah.
I never thought I had that. I never thought, I had that job, or I never thought, like let's just, tie it with the selling houses. I'm like, I never thought I would, help a family buy a house. I never thought I would sell this big, house. I never thought I would be able to buy a house by myself. I never thought I would have the car that I have. So there's just
Yeah.
like a lot of things that I'm like, I look back and I'm like, wow, like I'm so grateful because I have literally just, worked so hard to be where I am today.
Yeah. And do you feel like that's one of the reasons why you're so passionate about helping other people? Because it's like, if you look at me and where I came from to be able to do this, like you can do it yourself. Like you don't
Yes.
sell yourself short. Like that.
Mhm.
And I want to just give you like a round of applause for you and give you your flowers on that, because that is something huge. Like you are impacting a lot of people's lives because you are setting an example of showing, hey, it doesn't matter if you was born here or you wasn't born here. It doesn't matter what your upbringing was. It's that if you put yourself in the right community, if you put yourself in the right environment, you can be successful, and you can, and nothing will stop you. You only stop yourself. So I just wanted to just let you know, me to you, that keep doing the amazing things that you're doing because you are impacting other people, and showing them that you can be a strong woman. You can be somebody that's not from here and be able to create a life not only for you but for your family. And you're grateful and not satisfied. Like I love that quote of like I am very grateful, but I am not satisfied.
Mhm.
There's more I can accomplish, and there's more people I can impact too.
Yeah, I would say, stop playing small. Stop
Ooh,
playing small and don't be scared to dream. Don't be scared to see yourself in the future and doing these big things, because those things are um, like possible. Stop putting what you're going through right now, your past, as an excuse to not move forward. The decision is in your hands to, like, literally make a decision right now to change your life and move forward, and don't be scared to like, don't play small, don't be comfortable, because that's where, like, I'm never comfortable. It's like, no, I
yeah.
want more. I want, this, like, and I guess I'll tell a story. Like, when so I've had a few cars. I love my car. You probably know I love my car because I'm posting it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's such a, like, my car and my house right now are like trophies to me. They are things that I drive to my house and I'm like, oh my god, this is mine. Like, I never thought I would have this. And
Yeah.
then I get in my car and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm driving this car. It may not be the most expensive car, but to me means a lot because I know all the hard work that I put in it. And to me, at one point, it seemed like it was something that I was never going to have, and I made it happen. So a few years back, so I used to be in pageants. I used to do beauty pageants, and I had the title for Miss San Antonio back in 2019. 2019. And so I had a photo of what's the car? The Alfa Romeo, I think it's called. No, it's not an Alfa Romeo. Maserati. It was a car
Okay.
with
Yeah.
a Maserati. Okay, I took a photo with that Maserati, and it was. I remember that exact moment taking that photo, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like, I saw that car as something that I could not. Not that I was doubting myself, but I saw it so far away, and so,
Yeah.
like, I can't. Oh my gosh, could I ever have that car, right? So then, when I was my car broke down, last year. I was already struggling, and I was pushing, not to get a new car, because I was, working on other things or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then, when I made the decision to buy this car, it wasn't like like I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm buying a car. No, it took me like 6 months to figure out, okay, what did you want? Because I knew I don't change cars often. I drive them for a long time and then, go. And so on my dream board, um, I did I have a Tesla? I think I had a Tesla. However, the car that has been in the back of my head was a Maserati, and I wanted a Maserati, and I wanted a Maserati. So I was between a Maserati and a Tesla. And so that I didn't buy the Maserati. I ended up going for the Tesla. But just knowing that I could have made the decision to buy the Maserati, I could have had the Maserati. Like, that was big for me, because I have the photo, and I remember that exact moment saying, oh my gosh, could I, can I
Yeah.
ever, do this? And it was like, I had the opportunity. I was right there. It's just, I decided on something else that I want, my thoughts, change or whatever, something else that caught my attention more. I wanted more. And so it was just, just don't play small,
Yeah.
aim for that big, like, even if it scares you. I mean, dreams are supposed to scare you. Goals are supposed to scare
Yeah.
you, because playing comfortable, you're not going to grow. You're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And there's something that you said that is key is you knew what you wanted. You had that set up like this is what I wanted. You had your goal in front of you. You constantly had your goals. So you reminded yourself when days get hard, when things happen, this
Yes.
is what I'm striving to do.
Hmm.
So again, so for you all that's listening, how often do you look at your goal? Do you have your goal as your screensaver? Do you have your goal on your vision board? Hell, do you have your goal on your refrigerator or
I have them.
bathroom mirror?
I have them on my phone.
Yeah, again, you have to constantly look at your goal because that is that thing that's going to keep you going of like this is why I'm doing it because I
Like
want to accomplish that.
these are
Yep,
and then these I
exactly,
also have a dream board.
exactly. So if that's something that you all are listening or watching and you're taking away from this is that you have to keep your goal in front of you. You have to keep doing that. Don't play small. Don't feel like you can't accomplish it because one thing we know in this world, if you put your mind to it and you actually put the actions behind it, you can accomplish anything you want. And you are an example of that, of like, hey, I this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna put the action behind to do those things.
If God put it in your heart, then that means it can be accomplished. You just gotta do
Mhm.
some work too. It's not gonna come to you. It's not gonna be easy. You gotta go for it. You gotta go get it.
Yep. And a quote I always like to say when this topic come up is you can't ask God to order your step if you don't move your feet.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
can pray and pray, but if you're not getting into action to do it, because God gave you the ability, if you have the ability to do these things, that is God's blessing to you. So now you have to put in action to be able to get those things that you're praying for and you want, because you
Hmm.
have to do action. You have to put action behind
Hmm.
it. All right. So
Yeah.
what is the goal for you coming up? Like there's so many questions I want to ask you, but I know we're coming up on time. But like what are some of the things that you're striving for now or you're looking to accomplish?
One of my biggest next goals, probably in the next year, is buy another house.
Okay.
Buy another house. I mean, of course, my by 40, my long term goal, or yeah, by 40 for now, is I want to have at least 10 10 houses in my rental portfolio.
I
So
love it.
so right now my next big goal, it would be buy a house within this, within this year. Besides that, I mean, what wakes me up every day, I gotta pay my car, I gotta pay my house, I gotta pay my bills, and I want to buy this other house. And so
Yeah.
for that to happen is I gotta get up and I gotta ignore my feelings and keep going.
Yeah. And one thing I would say that she did not mention in that is I frame it as a fashion. It's like you put that shit on. Like you when you step out. Like you don't play no games with that. Like that is, and I always joke about it. Like like I'll comment or I'll say something to you. Like here you go again. Like you snapping with it. So that's another part of you hustling to do what you're doing because you show up and you show up the right way when you do things. Right. So that's another thing that she didn't mention, but I'll mention it for
And it's going to be tied from where I mentioned earlier. We were very limited, you
her.
know. Now it's like I've slowed down on my addiction because it's too much.
Yeah.
On clothes, but it's going to be because of how I grew up. I saw myself, and in my vision, I would see myself all dressed up in heels, and so I barely had any shoes. Little now I have like I don't know how many shoes, I don't know how much clothes, and so it has to do with like where I come
Yeah.
from, what my past. So it's just
Yeah.
and the beauty pageants at the same time, which my mom put me in that. With that, it's like, oh, you always dressed up and looking cute and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me feel good, and so if it makes me feel good, then it connects. Everything connects.
Yeah. Well, I would say you are making baby Blanca very proud. Like
Thank you.
she would be proud of you because you are doing what you're supposed to do and you're leading by example. Right.
Thank you.
Uh, as we're getting ready to come up on time, I am looking forward to hanging out with you all in your city, San Antonio, in August.
I can't
It is
wait.
gonna, it is going to be a time. I've never been there, so I am definitely looking forward to that. Your team is hosting an event one of the nights, so that is going to be dope. So, for one thing, I always ask my guests to do is if there's one piece of advice you can leave to the listeners, what would that be?
What I said earlier. Don't be scared to dream big and have big goals. Don't get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone because the growing is going to happen outside your comfort zone.
Yes. All right, Blanca. Thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor. It was a pleasure to get to know you
Thank
because I didn't know that you used to do beauty pageants. See, I learned something new myself. So that
Yes.
that is pretty dope.
Yes.
For you all listening, thank you for checking into another episode of Breakthrough Blueprint, the podcast where we help you tap into your full potential. This is kicking off for season 2. I'll see you next week.